welcome back. We are in episode 3 of Flipping Motown, and we are concluding our series on the Sexy Dutch 2.0. And I will tell you, this video is gonna be a little bit humbling. All the years I've flipped houses and the several homes that we've flipped, I have never lost money. This one, we lost money. And there were some very obvious reasons that led to that. But let's break down the numbers. There's some good lessons learned here. First is we ended up purchasing this property for $275,000. We felt like we could end up selling it at $550,000. That was kind of our target sale price. And we had a budget that we thought would be around $155,000. All of that would have made this a really pretty decent flip when all said and done, but things changed and things happened. Full disclosure, this was one of our biggest flips we had ever done as far as a budget goes. Most of our budgets hadn't exceeded $75,000 for a flip. So this was easily 2x what our normal budget is. Let's break down at least the buying side and the rehab costs and the holding costs. So all of those expenses. So again, purchased at $275,000. When we bought it, there was closing costs of about $3,081. The rehab costs, like I said, we had budgeted $155,000. We ended up spending $204,000. The holding costs, because it took longer to move the property and sell the property, our holding costs exceeded what we had budgeted, and that was just under $11,000. And so total invested between all of the purchase price and all the holding costs and rehab costs and closing costs on the initial buy ended up amounting to about $492,000. Again, even if we had hit our target sale price, it wouldn't have been much money, but we would have still made money at $550,000 sale price. However, we did end up putting the home up on the market for $574,900. We had felt like with the premium cul-de-sac lot, backing up to a park, all of those things would lead to a successful sale. We had also totally reconfigured how we were gonna do the master bedroom, master bath, and walk-in closet, and it turned out way better than we had originally drafted up. And so as a result of that, we thought, man, maybe we could, juice this one a little bit more and get a little bit above that 550 mark. It ended up selling for $491,000. And after the selling costs of $39,000 roughly, we ended up having a gross profit of negative $39,000. We ended up losing money on this one in the tunes of just shy of $40,000. Like I said, lessons were definitely learned on this. So why? What ended up happening on this? Well, again, like I said, our budget, we ended up spending roughly $50,000 more than what we had originally planned. Where did that money go? So one was we did not intend or plan on replacing the garage floor and thus then the whole driveway. But the city did require us to replace the garage floor. The garage floor had some massive cracks in it. And so that was a huge expense. The other one was normally if we had to do something with the exterior siding and things like that, you normally painted it, replaced maybe a few rotten boards or things like that. Well, we ended up having to strip off all of the wood off of this house, ended up having to put hardy plank, and that ended up being twice as expensive as we had budgeted for exterior. Not because we didn't know the numbers as far as what that was gonna be, it's just there was a lot more work once we tore stuff off because of how much stuff was rotted behind it. And so again, we wanted to repair this home the right way and make sure that it was in really good shape for the next homeowner. And so as a result, we had to spend a lot more money on the exterior as well. Two other things. So one was the master bedroom, master ensuite change that we did made the house so much better, but it also ended up adding probably an extra $10,000. And then the final thing was, unbeknownst to us, when we had purchased the home, it was not disclosed to us that there was any issues in the basement. Well, in the year, approximately a little less than a year, 9 months that we had owned the property, we ended up having some water in the basement. And so we ended up having to spend another extra 10 grand there to fix that issue. So again, 4 projects at about 10 to 12 grand a piece. Additionally, ended up putting our budget $50,000 over what we had planned on spending. And then, lucky us, but during the time that we owned it, interest rates went up another 3%. from what they were. And so we were trying to get this home sold at a time where a lot of buyers were sitting on the sidelines, not interested in buying a home, not because they didn't want a home, but because they didn't want to borrow money at 7.5%, 8%, which is where the rates ended up going up to. So all that being said, those were the contributing factors. Some we had control over, like the budget, and some we did not have control over. We were also really, really shocked and surprised that most of the feedback that we got were that people did not like that the house backed up to a neighborhood park. I think had it had a privacy fence, maybe that would be less of an issue. But again, because of the budget being the way it was, we had no additional resources to put into a privacy fence. All that being said, it led to the first loss we've ever incurred. It was a big loss. A $40,000 loss is hard to stomach. However, lots of lessons learned. Please continue to stay tuned for more episodes of Flippin' Motown. We've had some winners this year as well. This one just ended up being a dog. So with that, those are the numbers. And we just completed the Sexy Dutch 2.0. Thanks for watching our first rendition of Flipping Motown. Hey, and if you've enjoyed this series, we've got more coming down the pipeline. If you're interested, don't forget, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified because we're dropping new content every week and you do not want to miss this next series of Flippin' Motown.